So in the previous class, we have started seeing about dropdowns, how we can handle single select and multi-select dropdowns, and we have certain methods are available. So today we'll see a bootstrap dropdown, so which is also called as hidden dropdown and auto suggestion. So by covering all these things, I'm just going to show you one example, and in this everything will be covered. So bootstrap, auto suggestions, and also hidden elements. So by covering all these things, I'm going to introduce you one drop-down element, and we will try to see how we can handle them. So what are the different methods are provided by Playwright? So first of all, let us try to understand what is Bootstrap drop-down. Simple definition. So Bootstrap element doesn't have a select tag. So if you look at the normal drop-down, or if I go back to the page previous class, so we have seen these two drop-downs. So if I inspect this element, so by default, you can see this select tag. So this is normal select element, drop down element. But if you look at the bootstrap element, bootstrap drop down elements, you don't see the select tag. Okay, you can see button tag, or sometimes you can see div tag. So other than select, you can see different type of tags for bootstrap element. Okay, that is the one difference. Another thing is here you can see these suggestions, whatever you can see, these are all static. Okay, they won't change every time when you open the drop down. Every time you can see the same options, but sometimes what happens is in some drop downs you need to search for something. Here we can provide some input value, accordingly the suggestions will automatically display here. So that is auto suggestion drop downs. Okay, so for example, if we go and see Google, so here I'm typing Playwright, so you can see these are all auto suggestions. So these are dynamic options, so dynamic elements, depends upon the keyword we provided, so they will display. This is auto suggestions. Okay, so these elements we can inspect. You can just right click here, I can inspect, and these elements we can inspect. Even if you look at the normal drop down also, if you right click on this element, even if you're not able to right click on this element, you can simply inspect, and in the HTML or DOM, you can see all the option tags here. So from the HTML or DOM, you can capture the CSS and other locators. This is straightforward. But hidden dropdown is totally different, because we cannot inspect those options and we cannot see those options in the DOM itself. So DOM cannot produce those options. Okay. So that is a type of dropdown we call as a hidden dropdown. So let me show you this. Okay, let's go to Orange HRM application. So here I'm logging in as an admin 123. Let's say login. So once you successfully log in, and here I'm going to PAM tag. So once you click on this PAM, you can see there are different drop downs. You can see the job title, employment status, subunit, and include. There are multiple drop downs are there. And if I inspect this element, just right click here and trying to inspect this element, you can see there is a different tags here. Okay, so even if you inspect the drop down properly here, you don't see the select tag. This is a bootstrap drop down. And also, if I just expand this, so there are multiple options are showing, like account assistant, automation tester. And if you try to inspect these elements, you can just right click on it, it will disappear. And even if you want to see those options inside the DOM, you cannot see those options actually. So those options won't come here. Only at the time of clicking that element, drop down element, these options are appeared. But even though it is appeared on the UI, they don't display on the DOM here. So in the DOM, we cannot get these options, but we need to write proper CSS to get these options from this drop down. So that's the main. So yesterday we have used one method to get the options from the drop down. So what is the method we have used? Get options method. So select option method we have used, which will select the option from the drop down, right? But here it is not like that. So if we want to capture all the options, again we have written some CSS and capture all the options in case of normal drop down. But in this particular drop down, so if you want to capture all these options by using CSS, we need to write CSS properly, right? So to write the CSS, what we need? DOM. But these options won't display in the DOM. So that is a major challenging here. Okay. So there are multiple tips are there. So how we can get these options even though they have not displayed on the DOM. So we will look at that. So this is basically Bootstrap and also hidden dropdown. So these elements are hidden from the DOM. These options or elements are hidden from the DOM. But you can see this particular dropdown in the div tagger, but not the select tagger. So this is a Bootstrap. and also hidden drop down. Okay, so we'll see how we can handle this. So for that, there are multiple options. One of the option is using Selector Hub. We can do that. Selector Hub is also provided one component, debug component. With that, we can do it. And there is another option in the dev tools itself. So we can see bottom, there are multiple options, right? These are all options comes from the dev tools of the particular browser. So we can also use this option. So there are two tips are there. I will get to know that. But before that, let me start writing the code for the login part. Then we will see how we can handle the hidden drop down element. Okay, now go back and create new directory. I say day 24 and I'll call it as new Python file test underscore bootstrap drop down. Okay, now here as usual, so we need to import everything. So I said PyTest and sync API and everything, and then I'm going to write a test function. Def test underscore bootstrap drop down, bootstrap drop down. And here we need to specify the page, and this should come from the page class, and that we need to import. This page also we need to import if you specify from the sync API. Okay. All right. So now let us see how to write this. So what is the first thing we need to do? Launching the application. So I say page.goto. Okay. So the login part we have already done earlier. So you can just copy paste the same code, whatever I have given in the previous classes. So I'm just copying that piece of code here. So this is for login page. So page.goto. And after that, this is the CSS for the username input box, and I'm filling the data called admin. Then this is a CSS for the password input box, and again providing admin123. And then this is the CSS for the login button, and then I'm clicking on the login button. If you want to use, you can also use Playwright locator, but most of the times we'll prefer to use CSS. So these are the CSS I have written using tag and attribute. Okay. So if I go back and see, let me log out from this. Yeah, now if I look at this, inspect this element, so you can see input is a tag and also name available. So I'm just using combination of tag and attribute. So we don't have ID directly. So I'm just taking the help of tag and name. So name equal to username is a attribute. So tag and attribute combination, we have written the CSS for all three elements. So these particular three steps will be successfully logging into the application. So once you log into application, what's the next thing? We need to click on PAM tab. So we need to click on the PAM. So we can just go back and just type admin and admin123 login. So once you successfully log in, so we need to go and click on this PAM. So this is simple text, right? If I want to write a CSS, you can see this is a span tag actually. So we don't have much properties. Span class is also very lengthy. And if I use this class, and this is same class attribute, which is there for all these options actually. For admin, PM, leave time, for all these options, the same class attribute is provided. So we cannot use span and class combination. So I'll try to use Playwright locator here because this is the inner text basically, right? So we can use get by text. So I'm trying to use Playwright locator here. So I can say page dot get by text. So simply say PAM. It is again case sensitive. So on this, I want to perform the click action. So once you click on this PAM, then it will navigate and show you a personal information management page. So here employee information will be displayed. This is the page you will get. So in this, we need to select something. So you can take any one of the drop down. So I'm just going to show you one of the drop down, then rest of them you guys can try. So I'm taking job title. So here, this is the drop down. I want to click here first, and then all the options will be displayed. So then I want to uh, capture these options, all the options I want to capture. Then I will do further actions. Like first of all, I want to count how many are there, and that I will validate. And after that, I want to select one of the options from this job title. And after that, I want to print all these options in my console window. So there are multiple things we can do it. But before that, the major challenging here is we cannot get the locators of these options. We cannot see these options in the DOM structure. So that is a major challenge with the Bootstrap dropdowns and hidden dropdowns especially. Now here, if you try to right click on this one of the option, it is disappeared. And even if you inspect this whole drop down, you can look at this. I'm inspecting this whole drop down and there is a div tag, but if you expand this div tag, nothing is there here. The options are not displayed. Okay. So even if you try to expand this, here it is showing, but in the DOM, you cannot see those options. So to get these options, we need to freeze the space for some time. So there are two options are there. I'll tell you, carefully listen this. One option, by using Selector Hub, we can get it. And without using Selector Hub also, we can get it. So first I will show you with Selector Hub how we can get these options, how we can locate these options using CSS from the DOM. But as of now, these options are not there in the DOM. So we cannot write a CSS directly. So once they are available in the DOM, then we can start writing the CSS. Okay. Now, so let us go back and see the inspect. And by default, this is a page, right? So we don't have any options selected in the job title dropdown. Anyway, we are going to click on this element. So click on this dropdown. So this we can inspect. The dropdown we can inspect. Okay, so how to inspect this dropdown? Again, if you inspect this dropdown, because there are multiple dropdowns that are having same kind of an attribute. So if I go back and see, all this are in the form tag actually. If I go to parent of form, in the form, there are multiple dropdowns. All these elements are part of the employee information form. So I'm just starting writing one CSS using form here. I'm just say form. See, one element is matching. The whole form is maintaining. It is matching with the whole form. Inside the form, so what is the tag name of this particular dropdown? If I look at this, what is the tag? I'm just clicking on this one, this upper triangle. Okay. So I is my tag name. So I'm just giving form space I. Now you can see 4 dropdowns are matching exactly. But again, in those 4 dropdowns, I want to select which one, 1, 2, and 3. Third dropdown I want to select exactly. So the third one I want to select. So again, here the index will start from 0. So this is, here we don't provide any index because CSS won't support any indexing, but XPath will support the index. But even though if CSS is not supporting an index, Playwright is provided in indexing concept. So I'll introduce one new method, just observe. So as of now, this particular CSS is matching 4 dropdowns. So let me use it first. Go back and here after clicking on PIM, so I'm just trying to click on the dropdown, right? So click on the job title dropdown. So this is crucial step. Clicking on the dropdown, job title dropdowns. How we can get, we have written one locator, right? So page dot locator, and this is a normal CSS we have written. So this particular locator of form of I returning 4 dropdowns, 4 dropdowns. But which one we want to capture here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Third one we want. So here we have a one playwright method dot nth method, nth. So this is pointing to multiple elements. Among those elements, we want to get whichever element you want. So when I use nth method, the index will start from 0. So index will start from 0. You can see returns a locator to the nth matching element. It's 0 based. So we need to provide the index starting from 0. So accordingly, this is a 0. This is second. This is a third. So here I can provide 3. Now this is actually providing the drop down. So third drop down. So what we need to do on this, we need to perform the click action dot click. So this will actually opens the option. So this will opens, or this will open options from the drop down. Okay. So this will opens all options from the drop down. So once you click on this drop down. So now here the challenging thing. So how to write a CSS to capture all these options? So here general methods won't work because yesterday we have seen by using label, by using a value, by using index, we have selected options, right? But here and the Bootstrap dropdown, the methods won't work. So those methods are available only for select type of dropdown. So here those methods won't work. I'll show you how to select option from this dropdown by writing a proper logic. But before that, I want to get all these options from this hidden drop down. So to get them, first of all, I'm going to show you Selector Hub option. Okay. So just go to Selector Hub. In the Selector Hub, okay, so let me resize the page. Yeah. Now in the Selector Hub, if I look at it, this is the drop down I want. Okay. Job title. So in the Selector Hub, you can see in the right side, there are multiple options are there. So you can see the third option. What is, you can see the fourth option, turn on debugger. You can see the fourth option called turn on debugger. So you need to use this option. So how to use this option, I'll tell you. So whichever, okay, so first we need to click on this turn on debugger. As soon as you click on this, within 5 to 10 seconds, you need to open this window, open this drop down. So let me show you. So I just clicking on the turn on debugger and immediately try to expand this window. And in few seconds, your screen will be freezed. Now you can look at this, my screen. Our screen will be completely freezed. The options are opened and my screen is completely freezed. So once it is freezed, then go to elements. Now inspect this drop down options. You can inspect this now. See, I want to get accounts assistant. Just click on it. You can see account assistant. See, in every div tag, there is an option. So all the options are part of the div tags only. There is no option tag in the Bootstrap dropdown. Okay. So you can see all options are there. So if I expand every div tag, you can see the chief financial officer. You can see the chief technical officer. So once the screen is got freezed, then only you will able to see all these options. Now, by using this, can we write a CSS properly to get all these options now? Yes. So let us try this. So if I go back and see uh, this particular box, right? Let's inspect one of the element again. So I'm just trying to inspect one of the element. So these are the options, account assistant. And where exactly all these div tags are present, we need to find out. So every div is representing one option in the dropdown. So if I go a little bit up, you can see something called this is a main div tag actually. So this is a parent div tag, and inside this all div tags are there. So every div is representing one option in the dropdown. So now we need to write a CSS from the parent. So what is a parent tag is div. So from the div, I'm trying to use something called role attribute, role equal to list box. So I can say role equal to, I'm saying list box. So this is actually matching with what the whole drop down element, whatever the list is there. So all the options which is in the frame. Now from this, we need to get each and every option. So in which tag all the options are present in the div tag. But if you specify just a div tag here, 29 elements are matching, but we want to exactly match with the text, not the whole thing, because inside the div tag, if I look at here, if I inspect the div tag from the second div, you can see there is one more tag called span actually. Inside the span, the value is there or option is there. So we need to use a span tag. So instead of writing div tag, you can also directly write after div span you can write, but anyway, we are giving the spaces. So we need to avoid the div tag. Now, if I inspect this, see 28 elements exactly matching. Have you seen the difference here? When I say div tag, see, we are getting 29, which is also matching with this first one, select. We don't need that. But if you say only span tag, see exactly 29, exact options are matching, all 29, 28. So this is the CSS we need to use. So once we have used the CSS, go back and now once you click on this dropdown, we need to capture those options. How to capture those options? Capture all the options from dropdown. So to get them, what we can do, page.locator and specify the CSS, whichever you captured. Now store them in a variable. Okay, later we will do some further activity on this options. Now go back again. Still our screen is freezed, right? If I want to go back again, if you want to go back to the normal state, simply you can stop the pause in debugger is there, right? You need to click on this run button, resume script execution. Once you click on it, now it will come to normal state. So again, if you try to inspect this element, you cannot. So they are already gone. You need to refresh the page. So once you refreshed, it is already gone now. So now we cannot inspect because the debugger we have already closed. So I think still it is there. So after a few seconds, it will automatically disappear. Okay. So this is one option which we have. So using this debugger, we can do it. But there is a prerequisite for this. So if you're trying to do this using debugger, it won't work directly. So you need to do some settings in the dev tools. So what are those settings? I'll show you. You need to do that. You need to go to settings here. So look at carefully. So there is a dev tools, right? So how we'll get the dev tools? Just right click and inspect. And these are the options in the tab you can see, right? So here the last, there is a settings option, gear icon. Just click on it. And then here you can see ignore list. So go to ignore list under the settings option. So by default, if you look at your browser settings, this is enabled state by default. You can check in your browser also. So by default, this option is checked by default. If this option is checked, the Selector Hub debugger option won't work. If this option is selected, your Selector Hub debug option will not be working. The screen will not be freezed. You need to uncheck this. This is a prerequisite. Okay, if you uncheck this, then only debugger will work. Otherwise, not. So you can cross check this first of all. Okay, so without setting that option, without unchecking that option, if you start using this debugger, won't work properly. This is the prerequisite. This is one option which we have. I'll show you once again. Listen carefully. So go to settings once again and go back to ignore list. By default, this is the state. Okay, now you try and use the debug option or not. So let's see how we can use it. Go back to the turn on debugger. What I'm doing here is I'm just clicking on this and immediately I try to open this. Actually, our screen should be freezed, right? But it won't be freezed. Your screen is not freezed. And what it is saying, Selector Hub is saying go to DevTool settings, click on ignore list, uncheck content script. The same thing we have done actually. So what we need to do now, you need to go to settings and go to ignore list and you need to uncheck this option. And then you can go back to the turn on debugger and then open this box. Now it will be freezed. And after a few seconds, now we can see freezed. After freezing, go back to elements. Now you can inspect whichever way you want. Okay, so this is the process you have to follow through Selector Hub. Suppose if I don't have a Selector Hub, so then how we can do that? So let me show you now. So without having Selector Hub. So without having Selector Hub, again, we will depend on the dev tools. Just open window by pressing inspect. And here there is a tab called sources. So go to the sources. And in the sources, there is an option called pause. Here you can see the pause icon. Pause script execution. You need to click on this. So when you have to click on this, you need to just open and immediately just open the box like this and immediately pause it. Again, your screen is paused, automatically paused or freezed. Again, go back to elements and now we can start inspecting those elements. All options will be appeared on the DOM itself. So we can use debugger option from the Selector Hub, or we can go to the sources and you can just go to this option. And unless you start running here, the screen keep frozen. So again, if you want to come to the normal state, you can click on this element, or you can just click on this option directly. Pause in debugger, you can just try to click on this. So before freeze, the dropdown should show or not. So dropdown will always display, even options also you can see in the UI, but those options won't be displayed on the DOM. That is our problem. Okay, these options won't be displayed on the DOM unless you stop it. So let me show you once again. So go back to inspect. Now currently these options won't appear in the DOM. You cannot inspect them because I already paused my code. So you're able to see that. But if I go back and see, it is still running. But once you refresh the page, the settings won't be available by default. Okay, so what you need to do is just refresh it. And after refreshing, again, we need to just open like this and then you need to stop it. Once you open, then you need to stop it like this. Okay, now it is got freezed. And if you want to stop again, if you want to come to normal state, again, click on this arrow mark, then again come to the normal state. Okay, so the freezing the screen is important, guys. Whichever option you use doesn't matter. The screen should be freezed. Then only you will be able to get these options from the DOM. Otherwise, not. So try to use These are the two techniques. If Selector Hub is not working, then you need to directly go to sources and open the box and just pause for a few seconds. And once you return the proper locator, and you can stop it. So after the freezing, you cannot do anything except the drop down, okay? Because you need to come back to the normal state, then only you can work with the drop down. So once you started freezing, you just capture the CSS for those options. Once you capture the CSS, then you can come back to the normal state. So that's the procedure. But once you freeze the screen, you won't do anything, any action you cannot perform on the UI. Okay, so why we are freezing the screen? Just getting the locator, proper locator from the DOM. That's it. Once you get the locator, then you can stop it and then come to the normal state and then continue with the dropdown. That is a procedure. Okay. Right. So now we have written CSS for what? All the options. We captured all the options from the dropdown. So now we will proceed to do further actions. How we can count the number of options? So I want to count the number of options. How we can count? So take these options and we can use one method called count. So this will return the number of integer value, but we cannot assert that value. So to assert the value, we need to write another type of assertion. So this is simple count, right? So I can just print the count equal to, and then you can print them. So I can say print number of options in the drop down. Simply say count. So it is just for printing purpose. But if you want to validate the count, then you need to add validation part. So we can use expect, take all the options, because options are what? Locators only, right? Options. Yeah. Now, can you tell me the method how we can verify the count of these options? What is the assertion for this? Count. So I have done many times. Can anyone tell me what is a method to find the number of options? Yes, dot to have count. Many times we have used, right? So this is assertion for counting the option. Assertion for counting the option, because we don't have a value assertion, so we cannot put any assertion on this counter. So we need to put this method on the option. So this is the assertion, right? Perfect. Now let us try to run till here. So whatever we have done so far. So what I'll do is after submitting this, I will try to wait for a few seconds so that we can see all the options properly. Page dot wait for timeout. I'll just wait for 3 seconds. And also here I'll try to wait for 3 more seconds. So let's run this test. So I'm just setting the headed option here, hyphen headed, and then apply, say okay. Now I'm running this test. So we just completed the login, and then we have captured all the options from the dropdown, and then we have assert them. Okay. Yeah. So now we got some error. So let us see what is this. Click on PAM and type error. You can see locators assertions dot to have count, and one missing required position argument count. Okay, so we have done some mistake in the count. Yeah, so we have missed it. The count we are expecting, right? We need what is the count we are expecting? We have to specify that. So we already counted here, right? So the same parameter you can pass, because here we expected some count. So whatever the count we are captured here, the same value we are passing. But if you're already aware of how many counts, how many values we have, that hard-coded number, let's say 28, 29 are there, that you can pass it. Or dynamical, if you want to pass, you can get the count to dynamically, then that variable you can pass it here. So this is another way we can do it. So not all the dropdowns options will be hidden. Okay, some Bootstrap dropdowns options you can still see in the DOM, but some dropdowns you won't see. Okay, now I can see my assertion is got passed. So let me tell you something, guys. So don't confuse here. So I'll tell you. There are multiple dropdowns, right? So let me just categorize them so that you won't have any confusion. Dropdowns. So first type of dropdown is what? Select dropdown. That we have seen yesterday. Single select or multi-select, whichever. So whatever the dropdowns you have seen in the previous class, they are called selected dropdown. So these selected dropdowns are having select tag. Okay, these all selected dropdowns are having select tag. So if you have such type of dropdowns, you can easily handle them because we don't have any problem with the options. Everything will be displayed on the DOM everywhere. Another type of dropdown is called Bootstrap dropdown. Okay, so what is a Bootstrap dropdown? So it is just like a normal dropdown only, but what developers will do is the developer will add something on top of this normal dropdown to make visibility like more attractive. So they design the web elements in more attractive way in the web page. For that, they use this kind of technology to design the elements. So Bootstrap dropdown, most of the times you don't see the selected tag. Instead of that, you can see div tag, div, or sometimes you can see button tag also. Okay, that's a major difference. And here in the selected tag, every option will be embedded with the option tag. Okay, options are embedded in option tag. Option tag, every option or option tags. Remember this. Okay, every option embedded inside the option tag. But in the Bootstrap, options are also embedded in the div tag. Okay, so options are embedded inside the div only. So div tags inside the div tag. So you can easily identify. So which one is a normal set dropdown? Which one is a Bootstrap dropdown? Okay, now it is clear. Now there is another type of dropdowns called hidden dropdown. Hidden dropdown means what? In this dropdown, options are hidden from the DOM. Hidden from the DOM, not on the UI. In the UI, you can see the options, but you cannot see those options in the DOM. So that particular dropdown is called hidden dropdown, which is hidden dropdown. Okay. Now, whatever dropdown currently we are handling, it is satisfying the both the thing because it is a bootstrap dropdown because it is having a div tag. Also, the options are hidden from the DOM. So this is also hidden dropdown. So it is satisfying the both the properties. So that's the reason I'm taking this dropdown. So now you understood my point. Selected dropdown is completely different. So sometimes if you look at the only bootstrap dropdown, sometimes still you can see the options in the DOM. You can see some bootstrap dropdowns, but still you can see the options in the DOM in certain dropdowns. But some dropdowns you may not see the options in the DOM. It depends on how the developer is designed the page. Okay. So displaying the options on the DOM is optional. Again, sometimes it may display, sometimes it may not display. Depends on how the developer is designed the page. Okay. Even it is a bootstrap dropdown or not. If it is not a bootstrap, obviously it's a select dropdown. Definitely those options will be displayed on the web on the DOM. But a bootstrap dropdown is optional. It may display the options or it may not display the options, vice versa. Okay. So currently this dropdown, whatever we are handling, which is supporting both actually. So it is a bootstrap and also hidden dropdown, both. Okay. All right. So now come back. So we have put one assertion on the count and then we will proceed further. So what else we can do here? Now we want to print all the options. So we have captured all the options, right? So let's print them. Print all the options which we have captured. Okay, so we have already captured all the options into this variable, right? So to get the text of all these options, how to get it? Text of all the options, all text contains, right? So just print options dot all text contents. Options dot all text contents. So this will give you all the options from the drop down. I'm just printing all the options from the drop down. All the options from the drop down, just printing them. Okay, so let's see. So I see index, not options, which are hidden. Index, what is that? Can you repeat? No. The options are hidden from the dropdown itself. So as soon as your debugger option is open, then only can see them in the dropdown actually. So here all index also won't work. Okay, so here first of all, that method itself is won't work. So yesterday from the normal select box or normal select drop down, we have used one method called select option of what? Select option of what? Label. Then we have used value and by using index, right? So first of all, this method, whatever I'm using, this itself is not supported because there's not a select drop down. If it is select drop down, we can use this and we can pass index, but that is not the normal drop down. So even we cannot directly pass index or label or value. Okay, don't compare both. So both are totally different. So here, yeah, if you want to capture individual option element, then you can pass an index. That's a different story. I'll show you in the next example. Hold on. So this is a first capture all the options, and we have successfully printed all the options by using what? All text content. So basically this all text content will return the list. So that list contains what? All the option text. So let us run this till here. We'll go step by step. I'll show you all the combinations one by one. Now launching the page and login and then go to PAM. And now it is open. Yes. Now you can see we got some options here. See, these are the options from the drop down. You can look at here. So these are the different options from the drop down we captured from this. And number of options in the drop down is 0. It is saying why it is giving 0. We need to put some weight there. So it is not properly captured actually. Yeah, I think the options have captured from another drop down. Just hold on. So we just click here, right? So after clicking on this, just wait for a few seconds here. Just put some time. Yes. 0. Sorry, it should be 2 guys actually. Okay, because we are handling the job title. So this is wrong, which we given 2 actually. Right? Job title is what? 2. This is a 0, 1, 2. Yeah, that's correct. So here we pass it to. We can wait for some time here. Then options will be basically captured because it is not giving count actually. So I just put some wait time. Then it is able to capture all the options. Then it will properly give the count. Okay, let's run it once again. See, this page is more dynamic now. Color is got changed. Yeah. So now, yeah, it is successful. Click on the proper drop down job title. Yes. Now, yes. Now you got the exact 27 options and all of them printed in the form of list. So till here, everything is fine. So now I want to capture each and every value one after another. By using looping statement, we can extract one after another. So let us write a looping statement. So here you can just print all the options text one by one using loop. Okay, so how we can do this? You can say for I'm writing one index print I in, because we already counted the range, right? So, oh, sorry, we have already counted number of options. Here we have a count. Can we use that count instead of using range inside the range function? We can use this count. So take this because count is what? Value actually, right? Value. So if you want to specify the value, use range. I in the range of option count. Sorry, count. So what is the value of the count? 28. So from the 28, first it will store in I. Second round 2, I value become 2. Third round I value 3. So how many times this will repeat? 28 times it will repeat. Now this is important. So it will just return the number. Count is a 28. So when I say 28, what is the range from 0 to 28 or 1 to 28? Range function start from 0 or 1. Do you guys remember range function start from 0 or 1? Count from 0. So 28 count is there. So it will read one by one. So it is just written the number. What is I contains? I contains only number. So by using that number, you can consider that I as an index now. So we already captured all the options, right? So take this options dot options dot. I'm using nth. We cannot directly use options of I. Okay, this is not correct. We cannot use like this because option is what? Options are the elements, group of elements. All options are there in this variable. So we cannot directly pass index like this. So from the options, which option you want to get? Nth of I. Because here options is what? Which contains the elements, not the text. Understood my part? Options is what? Options are the elements. See, if I look at here, all the options we captured into one variable. And then we have counted them. And also we capture the text, all options text from the options. But what is an options here? Options is a group of elements. So from the options, we are getting the first element. And again, if you want to capture the text of that element, how we can capture? Dot text of single element. Text of group of elements, we use all text contents. Now I want to text of single element. What is a method? Text content, simple. Okay, text content. So this will actually return the text. So that I am printing. Print options dot nth of I text contents. So after completion of this loop, every time I value keep increment one by one, and it will print 28 options. So this is one way, this is another way using looping statement. What is the difference? Here get all text contents method return all the option text in the form of list. But here we can print everything in individually. So one after another. Right. Let's run it now once again. And now successfully admin login. Perfect. So if I look at this, all the options have successfully printed one after another. Okay. So now the final thing. So far we have just seen few options. What is the main action we have to do on the drop down? So how to select the option from the drop down? So this is a Bootstrap drop down. So we cannot use select options. In the previous class, we have used one method for normal selector. So what is that? One select option method is there. But this time we don't have that method because this is a Bootstrap dropdown. So if you don't know count in advance, you need to find the count. So we have already find out the count here. There's a prerequisite. So here we have already counted. So after capturing all the options, we have counted, storing in one variable. So that variable we are using it. So if you don't know count, first we need to count it. Then only you can start retrieving the options. Right. So now we want to select the option from the drop down. So that's the final action. So how we can do that? So what if we don't know count in the advance? See, this is a statement I have written for count. Have you looking it or not? So here, this is the statement. So I have captured all the options from the drop down, first of all. This is a locator for the drop down options. Captured all the options into this variable. By using these options, I have counted them dynamically. So this will give you how many options are there. This is a prerequisite. Until unless you know this count, you cannot get it. So this is the procedure to get the count. I have written them. Get the count of options. Okay, so once you get this, you can use this count either in the expectation here in the session and also to get the options. That's the prerequisite. Okay, now, so what is the final action? What we need to do? We need to select the option from the drop down. So that's the main important. Here, select option method is not there. But what we need to do now, we need to again get each and every option and compare with your expected one. Okay, so now select or click on specific option. So again, same looping statement we have to use, but here we need to change the logic. So we're getting this element instead of writing the text content. So this is the text content, right? Options dot nth of I dot text content. So here we instead of printing, we have to just store that in a variable called text. Okay, now we need to compare this. So whichever the option we want to select from the drop down, we need to compare this text with the drop down. Text equal to. So now I want to select something called automation tester. This is the value I want to select, automation tester. Okay, so you can just put colon. So if text equal to automation tester, so then what we should do now? We should take that option. So from the same options, same element, nth of I dot click. So when we have to click, if the text is matching, automation tester. As soon as you click, do you want to compare the next value? No, we need to break the loop. So break the statement. So this is a looping statement we need to write like this. So first time it will get 1 and get the first element. Capture the text of the first element. Compare it. If it is equal, it will go and click. If it is not equal, then again go up and get another element. Like this loop will repeat for all the options, and wherever the match is successful, that option will be clicked. Okay, so this is how it will work. So let's go and see how we are going to select. So also I will put some weight here so that we will see whether this automation tester value is selected or not. Okay. Right. So now I'm running it. Okay, I think it is not properly selected. So let us try once again. It is not clicked actually. It is not selected automation tester. So I'll tell you what is the reason. So instead of text content, we will try to use inner text. Inner text. So I'll tell you the difference between inner text and text content. Inner text means inner underscore text. So the next example, I will discuss what is the difference between inner text and text content. Okay, so let's use inner text instead of text content. So here we just use text content, it successfully printed all the options, but at the time of comparison, it is not happening the proper comparison. It's not matching actually. So that's the reason it's not selected. So after execution, I'll show you what is the difference between text content and inner text. Let's run it once again. It should select automation tester if the value is present in the dropdown. Okay, actually it is selected, but somehow it is not able to see. So text options.nth of I inner text. Okay, let us print here. Are we getting text or not, first of all? So before starting, so that we will know exactly it is matching or not. Okay. So if automation tester is not there, then it won't select it. We will check it once. It is there actually. You can see here. There are two options are there. So let's automation tester. Let us write this properly. Just go back and check once again. Text equal to, if text equal to automation tester, so then options dot nth of I dot click and then break. So that is fine. I don't have any issue. Okay, so let us comment this for now. And let us run one more time. So if I use the text content, you have to use a strip. But for inner text, we no need strip. I'll show you when and where we need to use strip. So options dot nth of I dot click and then immediately we'll be okay. Sorry. So I'm just trying to print actually what is the text option. Option to be selected. So let us check what is the value you are getting here. Option to be selected. I'm just printing it. Okay. Option to be selected is text. So that we will see what is the text it is returning. Accordingly, it is matching or not. We will check it. And also I will write here something called matching successful. If match is successful, then only it will enter inside the if condition. So I'm writing matching success. Okay, there is some logical issue. Okay, so you can see every time we are getting all the options one after another. Account assistant, are you getting any automation tester inside this? I think I don't see automation tester in these options. Did you see anywhere automation tester in this? You can see all the options are displayed except that automation tester. Okay, so let's try another one, finance manager, and then we will see. Okay, so maybe sometimes the same session won't be open. Okay, this when you run the automation through automation test, even though it is using admin 123, it may not see the same options because this is the open source application. Many people will accessing parallelly. So on the UI, we are able to see here, but when you're launching the page through our automation, you may not see the same options. So again, these options are more dynamic. So I'm just change this value finance manager, and then we will see is selecting or not. Yeah, now you can see finance manager successfully selected. And after 5 seconds, it is exited. So matching success, finance manager is got selected. Okay, so this is how we can simply select the option from the Bootstrap dropdown. So these are the options which we have currently. Okay, so now when we can use text content, when we have to use inner text, and what is the difference between text content and inner text? So I'll show you now in the next example. So everybody's clear so far. So how to handle Bootstrap dropdown and how to capture the CSS for the hidden elements. That is important. That is a challenging thing. Okay, so even if you go to this some web pages, you can see the hidden elements. Let's go to a Flipkart page. I'll show you them. So in the Flipkart page, this is my search box, right? So if you could just type something, let's say I'm typing something called smart. You can see these options. And if you want to inspect these options, they cannot display in the DOM. So these auto suggested options are there, right? So these options won't display on the DOM. If you try to inspect one of the options, let's say I want to inspect this smart TV. As soon as you right click on this, it is disappeared. It is disappeared. So now we want to capture these options. So for that, again, we have to use debugger option. So to do this again, what we should do, you can just right click, go to inspect. And even if you don't want to use Selector Hub, what we need to do, just you can just any browser you can use. Okay, so I'm just saying inspect. This is my Edge browser, so my DOM is coming in the right side. Even you can see the DOM in the right side, you can see all the options are available here. So you need to go to sources. Do you see sources here anywhere? It should be actually. So in the Chrome browser, you can see the sources. Actually, here also it should come. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Can you see sources somewhere here? Search recorder. No. No, I think this is my Edge browser. You can try on the Chrome browser. So if as soon as you type something, these options you cannot directly inspect. Even these options won't display on the DOM. So you need to freeze the screen, then it will be like this, and then you can inspect all the options. So I'll give this as an assignment. You guys can try this. Okay, so this is auto suggest. This is the drop. This is also drop down, we can say, but auto suggest a drop down. And if I inspect the search box, I can simply say as an input element, input box. But when you type something, it is giving all the options like this. You can say mobile. It will say auto suggestion. So these are dynamic. So you should be able to capture all of them. And after capturing all of them, we can count how many suggestions are displayed. And then we can click on one of the option, whichever you, based upon your choice. And accordingly, it will display all the details. Okay. So from the drop down, if you want to print the selected value, you can use one method called input text. So there is a method called input text here I have introduced in yesterday class. So once you specify the drop down and you can use input value, sorry, not input text, input value. So this will actually give the value which we have selected. I'm not sure for the Bootstrap drop down. We'll see once again. So what is our drop down here? The drop down element we have already captured. So where it is? So this is the drop down actually, right? So let me capture this. So let us use, so this is our drop down input value and selected value. I'm just printing the selected value here. Okay, we'll see. I'm not sure about this Bootstrap dropdown, but selected dropdown, normal selected dropdown, we can get it. So what is the value we captured? It's taking some time. So let me rerun once again. Sorry. This is the one I want to run. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is reading some error, so we cannot get it. So page.locator input value we cannot get. So this you can use with a normal selector dropdown, but in Bootstrap dropdown, so this method won't work. And you can try the same thing for normal dropdown. Okay, this won't work. Okay, so this is all about the dropdown. So I'll give some assignment on dropdown. You guys can try. And after that, the next concept, we will discuss the differences between few methods actually. So let me write down here. So there are few methods for interview perspective. They are very important. Let me share something. So these are the methods. I'll give the notes later. You guys can go to them. So inner text versus text content. Another method is all inner text versus all text contents. And there is one more method called all. I'll discuss about this separately. So in interview perspective, these are very important. So inner text and text content, both are doing the same job, but there is some difference. And all inner text versus all text contents also doing the same job, but there is some difference. We will try to understand. So most of the trending applications or latest trending applications are mostly the developers are using Bootstrap dropdowns, guys. Okay. All Angular JS applications are currently people are developing. So most of the times you can see Bootstrap dropdowns. So you need to handle them properly. Even if you go and see the e-commerce applications or any HRM application, CRM applications, most of the times you can see Bootstrap dropdowns. They're more attractive and more interactive. So that's the main thing. They're using something called Angular JS technologies at the backend side. So they want to make the elements more attractive. So from the development perspective, there are so many advantages are there for them. So select underscore option is one of the method which we can use to select the option from the dropdown, normal selector dropdown. So in the last class, I have shown you that method, select option. There's only one method which we have. We can use select option along with the label, value, index for normal select options. But Bootstrap dropdowns, we don't have such type of options. We need to write a logic for that. We need to write a proper CSS for all the options. And accordingly, we will able to capture the options and get each and every option, and whichever is matching, we can select that option by using click method. There's only one option, click method, we can select the option if it is a Bootstrap dropdown. Okay, so let's go with this inner text and inner text and text content, all inner text and all text content, and we will see all method later. So very important interview perspective, because it seems very similar, inner text and text content, even all inner text and all text content also very similar. So we have also used this method very many places. Text content we have used, all text contents also we have used. So if you want to get the text of the element, we use text content. Similar, if you want to get the text of multiple elements or group of elements, then we go for all text contents. Alternatively, we can also use inner text, all inner text also, and also most preferable methods are inner text, all inner text. So why they are preferable, I'll tell you. So first, let us understand the differences, and then we'll come to the conclusion. So which one is more useful in our automation? Go back and create new Python file, test underscore. I'll name it as a Playwright. You can say shortcut. So PW methods. Okay, so to demonstrate this quickly, I'm just going to use one application here. So before that, let me import and def test underscore comparison of methods, taking page picture, page dot go to. So I'm trying to use one application here, another e-commerce application which we already used earlier. Take this. Okay. So I'm also trying to open this application. Okay, so now let us see what are the differences between these methods. So before discussing the differences, now I want to capture titles of all these products. Titles of all the product, or I want to locate all the product titles. So let us inspect one of the option or one of the title, and we'll write one CSS selector. And if I look at here, so the anchor tag is having actual title. This is holding inside the H2, which is having class attribute. So the class at the product title is a common for all the titles. So I just try to use its class product title. So how to use class in CSS? Dot representing the class. Now exactly it is pointing all the titles of the products. So let us capture all the titles into a variable here. So I say page dot locator, specify them. So this is actually returns all the titles, or we can say products. It will return all the products. So how many products are there in the home page? 6 products is returning totally. 6 products. If you go back and see 6 elements. So 6 products are there. Now, so the first thing is the difference between these two. So inner text and the text content. So inner text versus text content. So practical, I'll show you. You can easily understand about this. See, we already captured all the products, right? So from the products, I want to capture the first product title. First product, how to access the first one? In the previous example, I have shown you. So we already captured all the products. Now I want to access the first one, nth dot nth. So first product, second product, whichever. So here nth will start from 0, right? So 0. So I want to capture the second one. Let's say 14.1 inch laptop or some other thing, whichever you want. You can, I want to select this one. Then you can start with 1. You can also give 0, 1 to up to 6, Up to you. So whichever you want, you can give. So nth of 1. And if you want to capture the text, the title, products are contains all the titles in the form of elements, in the form of locators. From that, I'm capturing the first element. From that, I want to capture the text. So here I'm using inner text. See the difference. I'm using inner text. So that I'm going to print. So print products dot nth of I inner text. Same thing I'll repeat with the text content. So instead of inner text, I'm using text content. Now we'll see the difference. Okay, so here I'm just writing using inner text. Using inner text, I'm printing the value. And here using text underscore content, printing the value. Okay, so now we'll see the difference between these two. So I'm just going to run it. Hyphen headed mode, apply OK, and then run it. See, by seeing the output, you can notice what is the difference between text content and inner text. Yes. Now you can look at this. When I say using inner text, it is exactly capturing the value. When I use the text content, there are some spaces before and after. After there is no space, but if there are some spaces actually. There are some spaces before the value. But if you capture the inner text using inner text, there is no space before and after. This is exactly capture the value, but the text content is returning the same value, but along with some spaces. So sometimes what happens is, if I look at this element, inspect the title, this is the title. Sometimes there will be some hidden characters, some spaces right and left side. So when I use the text content, what will happen? It will also capture that information. Okay, but if I use inner text, it will actually capture the information. Exact value you will get. That is the difference between text content and inner text content. Okay, so currently we don't have any special characters here. So text content and inner text both are returning the same thing. But there are some hidden things are there that we are not able to see here. But when you get the multiple options, you will see those options. You can see the hidden items. So you can look at this. This is a inner text. This is a text content. So inner text will return actual text. Whereas inner text content returns content with special characters and spaces. So that's the reason if you want to avoid these special characters and spaces, we can use strip method along with the text content. Okay, so this is one difference. So what I will do is I will try to get them for all the products because we captured all the products. So I want to get the titles of all the products using inner text. And also I want to get the titles of all the products using text content. So then you will see the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just commenting this. Let me write a looping statement then. So we already captured the products, how we can count them, products dot count. So this will actually give the count. So if you know the count, we can start writing the looping statement for I range of count in range of count, and inside this again I'm using the same thing, same statement I'll keep inside this for loop. So I'll put this later. So here using inner text, I'm trying to print the titles. I think one more bracket is needed. No, just print. Yeah. So products dot nth of I inner text. So this I will comment for now. Because if you try to capture multiple elements, then you will see the difference. Okay. I'll put both the things, but I will comment the first one actually. This I will comment. First, let us start with the inner text and then I will come to the text content. Okay. So let's comment this. Right. So I just put this count and now this time I want to read each and every product. So this I we have to pass inside the n because every time I will keep incrementing, right? So text content. I'm just getting only the text content and then you will see how we can print this. I'm using text content, remember this, or else you can use some other variable, or else you can say product underscore name and then you can use print product name. Okay, so now just observe. So we can just remove this. We will put this later. So I'm just getting each and every count number and then accordingly I'm just getting the element, product element and getting the text content, storing into variable and then immediately printing it. Now you can see the difference. I'm using inner text here, text content. So first we have started with the text content. See the difference. See here, the first product is displayed, but there are lot many spaces are there. And between product to product also there is a lot of space. You can notice here. And before also there is a lot of spaces. So this is the output of the text content. You just notice here. Now, instead of text content, I'm trying to use inner text and see the difference. So I just comment the first one and instead of text content, I'm using inner text. See, when I use text content, what happens? It is printed the content, but there are a lot of spaces and special characters, invisible characters are there. But when you use inner text, exact text values it will capture. See this? This is the exact output we want. There is no special spaces, no hidden characters, nothing. So it will actually return the plain text of all the elements. That is the difference between text content and inner text. Okay, but still I want to use the text content, but I don't want any spaces or any hidden elements or any hidden characters. Then what you should do is you should apply strip method. Okay, you should apply strip method. How to apply it? Simple. So I just comment here at the time of printing this product names. Okay, just say strip. So there is a method called strip. ST ST RIP. Okay, this is a function which we have. So when I use this function, it will strip all the hidden characters, spaces, and everything. So now you will get the output exactly similar to inner text. So let us run it and see. It will remove all the special characters, hidden elements, nothing. So now we can see the output. It is exactly the same way how we got from inner text. Okay. So the text content will return the text along with the hidden characters, spaces, and everything is included. But if you want to avoid them, you have to use strip function along with this output. But if I use inner text, you will directly get the text values, complete text values without having any spaces or hidden characters. And this is the difference. Is this clear, everyone? Please confirm in the chat box. So difference between inner text and text content. So whenever you are using text contents, better to use a strip function along with the text content. So instead of using two functions, directly go with the inner text. That is a better option every time. Okay. So same difference is applicable for all inner text, all text contents. All inner text, all text content. Same difference is applicable. Okay. So now let me show you how we can differentiate all inner text versus all text contents. Same difference is applicable. Next one, all inner text versus all text contents. Again, so we have captured the products. I'm using the same thing. Products, I want to capture the text of all the products. Then how we can capture? All text contents. This is a common method. Most of the time we have already used, right? So from the single element, if you want to capture the text, we use single text content. And if you want to capture text contents of multiple products or multiple elements, then we have to use all text contents. So what this will return actually, it will actually return the list of product names. product underscore names. List it will return, list collection. If I just print here, product names I'm printing. I'll comment this for now. Okay. So, okay, we are using this products information, product names. Can we print like this, product names so directly? All inner text, products dot all inner text. So I think indentation is not correct. Just a moment. It should be here. Okay. So now we capture the text contents of all the products into this variable. I'm just printing them. Later, I will show you all inner text contents. So let me run this first. So whenever you use all text content, obviously the special characters, spaces, everything is included. Now you can look at the output. See, before this actual text, there are lot many things. There is one new line is there. And again, there are some multiple lines, spaces are there. This is another product. I can see this is another product. Between them, there are a lot of lines differences there. So it is captured everything along with the spaces and hidden characters. So instead of this, if I use instead of all inner text, instead of using all text contents, I'm using inner text, all inner text. So again, same difference, all inner text. So this will actually print all the product names properly. So I can just comment this now. You can see the difference now. You'll get the exact values in the form of list. Okay, no, so something wrong. Product names equal to all inner text. So I think the method is not correct. Sorry, this method, something wrong. All inner underscore text, spelling mistake. So do we have a products here? Yes. Products dot all inner text. So this will actually returns the product names, and then I'm just printing the product names. Okay, let's run one more time. Something wrong. We are getting this output from somewhere else. We have already commented this. Okay, so we will do one thing. Just a second. I'm just running once again. We'll see. Yeah, so now you can look at that output. So this is the actual text. There are no slash ins, right? Previously, you can see slash ins when I use all text contents. And this is second one, third one, fourth one. Exact text is returned. Now I'm just, again, I'm putting all text contents and run it once again. And when I use all text content, it is also returning some spaces along with the lines. And both are returning the list only. So you can look at this. So before putting this title, there is a space here. And the lines and spaces are added. Right? So have you noticed the difference between these two? All text contains all inner text, but both are returning the list collection only. So both are returning the list collection, But the difference is all text contents return the list along with the spaces and hidden characters. But all inner text will actually return the text. And this is applicable for group of elements. And the text content inner text is applicable for specific element. Okay. But again, if you want to use all text contents, still I want to use, but I want to avoid hidden characters or spaces and all. So then how we can use it? We need to apply script operator. So what I can do is before printing. So let us keep up here. So still I want to use text contents, but my requirement is I want to avoid the hidden characters and spaces. So before printing this product names, you need to trim all the spaces and lines. So for that, what you can do is you can use one list collection and use for loop inside this. For use one variable called text inside this product names. And from the product names, it will read each and every product name into this text. And after that, getting into the text, we have to strip it. So to strip it, again, use the same variable text dot strip, strip. Right after stripping, then store them in a variable. So products, I can say product names trimmed. I'm just giving some different name. So now you need to print this actually. We can put this here. Now you need to print this. Next line, just print products names trimmed. That's it. So this is before trimming and this is after trimming. Before trimming, it is printing all the names, and after trimming. So to trim it, to trim all the stuff, then we have to use a special method called strip. So whenever you use the text content or all text contents, strip method is mandatory because to avoid all the spaces and hidden characters. Okay, so now you can see this is the output from this particular statement before trimming, and this is after trimming. Exact text we have got it from all the options. Okay, so this is how we can use these methods. So first one, inner text versus text content, and this is an example for all inner text versus all text content. And one more method which we have called all method. So let me just comment this. So everything is clear so far, everyone? Can you please confirm in the chat box? All. So because you don't have any confusion in future, because we are going to use these methods very frequently. All method. So when to use all method? So basically this all method converts the locator into a list of locators. Okay, so let me tell you something. So we have already captured the products here. So we have captured all products. And in which format, what is this products format actually? What is the type of this? This is a locator type. If I look at here, the type of this products is one locator. Locator is a predefined class. Okay. So the type of the product is what? Locator. It is not a list actually. We capture the 6 products. All the products are available in this variable in the form of what? Locator type, not in the list type. So if there are in locator type, then if you want to extract one by one each product, then we have used nth method here. From the products, we are using nth method to extract one by one. But another way is from the same products, because it is in locator format, we can convert this into list format. Then the list contains all the elements one by one. We can read each and every element. So to convert this locator type to list type, we can use all method, all function. So currently this product is what in the locator format. Now what I'll do is I can use one method here called all. And then this will actually return all the products in the form of list. So I can see product underscore locators. Product underscore locators. So now if I look at here, in the products, there are multiple elements. But each element is having a locator again. But instead of specifying the locator, we are just using nth method to access the specific element from all the products. To accessing individual product, we are using nth method here. But instead of using this nth method, we directly converted this products from locator format to list format. Now if I use all method, look at this variable type, product location. What is the type of this? This is a list type actually. You can see this. This is a list type. So what this list contains? The locators of each and every product. The locators of each and every product. Now you can use index concept here. See this. From the product locators, which product you want? First product. Then I can pass the index, 0 index. You can start from 0. Indexes start from 0 according to the list. So 0. So this is pointing to the first product. Then you can capture the inner text. Inner underscore text. So this is the procedure. Because until unless they are in the list format, we cannot use index. So I'm just printing it. Product dot locators of 0 dot inner text. Okay, so what exactly this method is doing? Converting the single into multiple parts. So to understand this better, let me explain this. So when I capture all the products, right? Let's say I have multiple products in my web page. Okay. Now I have written one single locator. That means one CSS locator, which is pointing all the products. So for all the products, we have written only one single CSS, and that is actually written a variable that is a locator type of variable. And this locator type of variable contains all the elements, all the products. Again, to access individual products, what we have done, we have used nth method, nth of 1, nth of 2, nth of 3. Like this, we have extracted one by one. Now, instead of doing this, what I have done, this locator, I will convert it into list form. So when I convert it into list form, then each element locator will be saved in the form of list like this. Okay, now all the elements will be split into multiple parts in the list. Now if you want to access the first element on the page, I can use index 0, second element 1, third element 2, like this. You understood my point? The difference between this one and this one. Here we use nth method when all elements are in the form of locator. But here we converted locator in the form of list. Once they have converted into the list, then we can use index to access the elements. This is more preferable way instead of using this nth method and all. Once you get all the elements in the form of list, we can access whichever element you want by using index concept. Okay, so this is how we can use all method inner text. Now can we print inner text of all the elements using index? Yes, so we can simply write a looping statement also, right? So let me write a looping statement. Inner text of all the elements. Simply I can say for, so we already captured this product locators, all product locators. So we can specify them, and each and every locator we want to get it in some variable. So I'm just giving product underscore locator in operator I'm using. And now we got the product locator, individual product locator. And now once you get an individual product locator, then you can use this product locator dot inner text. So by using inner text, we can capture it. So product locators, I think this is a variable we have to use. So for product log in products underscore, this is product locators, right? Then product locator dot inner text. Why it is giving an error? I think again there is an indentation problem. So here we are not able to access this product locators. So what we can do is we can put it here itself. Yeah. So now we are capturing each and every product locator, and then we are printing it product locator inner text, and we cannot directly put inner text. Product locator, we are getting it from the product locator. We need to pass. We can product locator inner text. This is one approach. By using index also, we can write another for loop. Suppose if you want to use index, you can also do like this. From the product locators, you can find a number of product locators using length, right? So I can use length here, length of product locators. This will give the actual length. And we can put that length in the range function, right? So I can also use along with the range. I'm just combining multiple things into one single shot. Now this is a range. Accordingly, this product locator will write. Now I can use one variable called I, some index. Now I is an index actually. So how to get individual product using this index? Instead of inner text, products locators here. Products locators of I dot inner text. Okay, this is another way to get the elements. Either go for this one or go for this one. So first let me run the first one. This is the one. Yeah. So now you got all the product titles perfectly fine. This loop is working. Now the another way is this one. So we can use index. So in the first one, I have not used index, but here I'm using index. Let's run this now. Okay. Now the same titles we capture from the products. So this is all about three methods. I have given the detailed notes about these three products. Inner text versus text content, we compared it. So what is a method, what it does, what are the key points, and when to use. And I've given examples also, same thing, whatever we've seen in the class. And all inner text versus all text content. Again, methods, what it does, and key points. Examples I have given, and then finally, lol method. It will convert the locator to list of locators. So again, I've given some example and final comparison table. So here, each and every method, what this will actually return, and white spaces will remove or not. So inner text will automatically remove white spaces, but text content cannot. And here inner text will remove, text content cannot. It is not applicable for all. So including head and test or not, and the best use case. So just go to the document. I have explained in detail all about these methods. Okay, interview perspective, these are important. So I hope you don't have any confusion between these methods now. Inner text and text content. So whenever you use the text content, you also must use strip method. Okay, to avoid the multiple line spaces and all. But if I use inner text, we don't need to use strip method. We can directly use inner text method. Okay. So do one round of practice and go through the document, try to understand them. And based on this, this is an assignment you have to. This is a previous class assignment. This is a Flipkart assignment. Open the Flipkart page and locate the search box and type smart. And whatever suggestions are displayed, just get all the suggestions element and find the number of suggestions. And fifth one, whichever suggestion is there in the fifth place, get it. And finally, select the fifth suggestion. Okay, because there is list of options will be shown when you set something, and fifth one, whichever is displayed, just select it. And after that, print all the suggestions one by one. And here select the specific suggestions using looping statement, and one assertion you can put. At least one suggestion should be present when you search for some item. So this is assignment, and I'll also upload the solution for this. You can just go through and try to understand. In the next class, if you have any questions, again we will discuss one more time. Okay, so this is all about drop downs concept. So we'll stop here for today's class, and tomorrow we will continue further.